I'm fine with anything. Just choose what you like.
That kind of makes it difficult though.
My husband and I were at a meeting for our wedding planning. We had registered our marriage, but hadn't had a ceremony yet. I was excitedly listening to the plans, but his attitude quickly dampened my mood. How about we just go with this one?
What do you mean this one?
I mean, let's just choose this middle plan.
Didn't you say we could go for something a bit nicer?
After all, it was Tom who had suggested we have a ceremony. I couldn't believe his attitude now. In the midst of this tense atmosphere, our wedding planner made a suggestion. In that case, we could lower the grade of the meal, but increase the number of dress changes. She explained an alternative plan politely, but Tom seemed uninterested. Let's go with that, okay? Yeah. I almost sighed, but held it in. Suddenly, Tom stood up.
Where are you going? We're not done here.
I've had enough. I'm going home. With that, he left. As I stood up to follow my husband, someone grabbed my arm. Suddenly, I almost fell backwards in surprise. What? I turned around to see the planner with a serious look. There's something important.
Huh?
I was led to a different room. Although I was still worried about Tom who had left. What's this about? It's hard to say, but your husband, Tom. Her words made me collapse to my knees. At the same time, a fire of revenge against Tom was ignited. I'm Emily, an office worker. I'm 32 this year. I've been living a simple but happy life with my husband, Tom. Tom was my high school mate, and he left our hometown right after graduation. Emily, is that you? Long time no see.
Tom? When did you come back?
I just got back last week. We randomly met after work one day. Have you been here all this time? Why did you come back? There was a pause. Just didn't fit in over there. What's that supposed to mean? We started hanging out about once a week. We always had a good relationship, so it was fun. About 2 months after we reconnected. We were drinking after work when. Hey, why don't we live together? What? I just really enjoy being with you, Emily. Is that a no? I didn't hesitate to say yes. I had also started to feel like I wanted to be with him more. So, we quickly found a place and started living together. Looking forward to this.
Me too.
It was my first time living with someone, and I was a bit excited. It was fun, but something bothered me. I realized I didn't know what job Tom was doing. I had asked before. My job? I'm helping out my friend. Really? Doing what? Various things. Hey, want to grab dinner? I know a great place. Sure. I never got a straight answer about his job. And with work getting busier, I just forgot about it. A year passed. One day when I came home from work.
Welcome back. Take a seat.
What? Why? As I sat down, following Tom's suggestion, I saw drinks and a lavish meal set up. What's all this for? It's not my birthday. Then, Tom pulled out a box from his pocket. My heart raced, thinking it might be what I suspected.
How about we get married? I think it's about time. I'm so happy. Yes, please.
However, this turned out to be a wrong choice for me. I was over the moon about the proposal. But then, Tom looked guilty. What's wrong? Can we wait to have a wedding ceremony? A wedding ceremony? Well, I'm not too fussed about it. We can think about it later.
Really? Thanks.
I was more thrilled about being Tom's wife than having a wedding. Eventually, we registered our marriage and we officially married. I was excited about our new married life. But then I noticed something off 2 weeks later.
I'm home.
You're late. Yeah, I just had some stuff to do. He seemed distant, not his usual self. And it wasn't just that. He was absent-minded and gave short responses to my attempts at conversation. Are you listening? Huh? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Maybe I'm just tired. I'm gonna sleep first. Okay. He went to the bedroom, seeming distracted. Then, I noticed a small pouch he left behind. Thinking he might need it, I took it to him. You dropped this. Upon seeing the pouch, Tom snatched it with an inhuman speed.
What the?
I was too shocked to move. He glared at me with a look I had never seen before, instilling fear. You didn't look inside, did you?
Inside? No, I didn't.
Good. Thanks. He lay down again. Back in the living room, I couldn't stop thinking about the pouch. But after seeing that expression, I didn't have the courage to delve deeper. The next day, he acted like nothing happened. Hey, I'm gonna be late tonight. What about dinner? Don't need it. That night, Tom didn't come home even after midnight. I was about to sleep when I heard the front door and a thud. Rushing over, I found Tom collapsed.
Are you okay?
Huh? He was slurring his words, seemingly drunk, with a sweet, pungent smell around him. I managed to get him to the living room and gave him water. I had never seen him this bad, even when drunk. I considered calling an ambulance.
The pouch. What?
Pouch? He kept mumbling about the pouch. The same one from before. I searched my bag for it. As I was about to take it out, he suddenly shouted.
Hey! What are you doing?
Startled, I accidentally threw the pouch away.
What are you doing? I was just doing what Tom told me to. What? Don't just do things on your own.
I was getting irritated at being blamed unilaterally.
You said the pouch, right? What's even in it anyway? That's none of your business. If it's so important, why not lock it in a safe?
The next moment, I felt a sharp pain on my cheek. Confused, I touched my face and looked at Tom. His eyes were bloodshot.
It's because you meddle too much. If you do something like this again, it won't end here.
His intensity left me speechless. Tom stood up, staggering, and left the house. All I could do was rub the cheek he had hit. After that, Tom started coming home less. He would return just as I was leaving for work. Off to work? See you later.
You have the day off today?
Huh? Oh yeah, I'm off. He was invariably drunk. And he also had a strong, unfamiliar smell. It reminded me of something I couldn't quite place. Like a perfume, but I didn't know what it was at the time. Then one day, despite hardly having any proper conversations, Tom surprisingly suggested with a smile. It's not really an apology for what happened, but how about we have the wedding ceremony?
A ceremony?
Yeah, a wedding ceremony. We haven't had one, right?
Why all of a sudden?
I was wary since he had shown no signs of such a plan. Let's just do it. It'll be good, right?
Okay.
At that moment, I was afraid of what might happen if I refused. Then, let's go venue hunting this Sunday. I should have been happy, but Tom's sudden kindness and smiles left me unsure how to react. When Sunday came.
So, where are we going?
Just follow me. I followed Tom without knowing our destination until we arrived in front of a building adorned with wedding dresses.
Here?
Yeah, it's a nice place. Let's go in. Inside, various wedding dresses were displayed. Despite myself, I couldn't help but feel excited. A woman approached us. May I assist you?
Oh, well.
As I hesitated, Tom said, sure, we'd appreciate it. And she led us to a separate room to discuss ceremony plans. I was unsure about the plans, but Tom was chatting and smiling with the planner. Feeling irritated, I tried to involve him. How about this one?
Oh, that's nice. But I'd probably choose this one.
But it's expensive.
Is it? Then maybe this middle plan.
I didn't expect much, but he actively shared his opinions. I thought maybe it could turn out to be a good wedding, but that day ended with just deciding the broad outlines. On the way home, Tom seemed in a good mood. Thinking it was a good time, I spoke to him.
About the wedding dress.
Yeah.
Which one do you think?
Yeah. But his responses were all non-committal. His earlier enthusiasm was gone.
Are you listening?
I asked a bit more firmly this time. Don't bother me now. I'm busy. He was just playing with his phone, not looking busy at all. Yet, he acted as if I was the one in the wrong. The word divorce started to cross my mind. I had always dreamed of a wedding, and I wanted to show my parents me in a wedding dress. I was torn between two thoughts, but Tom walking beside me probably wasn't thinking about any of this.
We have another meeting next week, you're coming, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. And so, back to the usual dreary life. I couldn't wait for the week to pass. One day, I felt ill and had to leave work early. All I wanted was to get home and lie down.
What?
Why are you here?
That's my line. What happened to work? I left early because I wasn't feeling well. You should have told me. I didn't expect you to be home.
Then, I noticed something. There were 2 cups on the table, which weren't there when I left in the morning.
Did someone come over?
Huh? No, nobody did.
But there are 2 cups there.
Tom looked like he got caught and seemed to be thinking of an excuse.
Oh, a colleague from work came over. But I thought you said no one came?
Tom, now cornered, seemed irritated.
I told you it was a colleague. Just drop it.
As I tried to push further, I felt dizzy, probably pushing myself too hard. You came back because you were sick, right? You should go to bed. Saying that, Tom carried me to the bedroom. I must have had a fever because as soon as I was in bed, I lost consciousness. What? When did I fall asleep? I checked my phone, and it was past 1 a.m. I had been asleep for nearly 6 hours. I went to the living room, and Tom was there.
You sure you're okay to be up?
Yeah.
Don't push yourself. Want something to eat?
After our earlier conversation, I didn't know what to say. Then Tom spoke kindly, as if nothing had happened.
I'm sorry about earlier. Work hasn't been going well. But the person who came really was a colleague, I want you to believe that.
He seemed like a completely different person. Okay, I understand. I forgave him. Maybe I shouldn't have. But being treated kindly felt good. I didn't have much experience in love, and Tom meant so much to me.
Maybe you should go back to sleep? It's still the middle of the night.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
I went back to bed and fell asleep quickly. That idiot, she doesn't suspect a thing. Such a fool. I thought I heard Tom talking to someone, but my consciousness quickly faded.
We have the final meeting for the wedding this Sunday. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah, I'm fine. When we went for the final meeting.
Isn't it the usual person? I'm sorry, the person who was handling your case is off today. Nancy, will be taking care of you.
Okay, thank you. I glanced at Tom, and he seemed a bit grumpy.
Everything all right?
Yeah. Let's just get this over with. We received the rundown, but Tom was just playing with his phone, not really participating in the conversation. I was starting to question the purpose of the wedding itself. During the final stages of the meeting, the planner asked, "So, shall we proceed as planned?" "Yes, please go ahead." I turned to Tom for his agreement.
Is this okay?
Anything's fine by me. You decide.
What? That's not helpful.
My excitement while listening to the plans quickly faded.
How about we just go with something normal? Normal? What do you mean by normal?
You know, nothing too extravagant.
What? But we've already decided on the arrangements. Are you suggesting we change the plan now? You said before you didn't want anything expensive, right?
It was Tom who had first suggested having a ceremony. And I couldn't believe his attitude now. In the tense atmosphere, our planner, Nancy, suggested an alternative.
If it's okay, we can lower the meal grade and increase the number of dress changes.
She politely explained the options, but Tom showed no interest.
Let's go with that. That's okay, right?
Yeah. I almost sighed but held it in. Suddenly, Tom stood up.
Where are you going? We're not done here.
I've had enough. I'm leaving first.
Wait.
But Tom ignored me and left. What's going on now? I sighed and said, sorry, I'll bring him back. I stood up to follow him when Nancy grabbed my arm. Startled, I nearly fell backward. What's? I turned to see Nancy, who had been smiling earlier, now with a serious look. There's something important.
Important? What is it?
We should talk in another room. Intrigued and worried about Tom, I followed her to a private room. Nancy began to speak. Her expression was apologetic.
So, what's this about?
It's difficult to say, but your husband seems to be up to no good.
No good?
Last week, during a dress fitting, I overheard him talking. I was curious and went to check. Nancy hesitated. But I felt their courage and resolved myself to face what was coming.
Please tell me. I need to know.
Well, he was talking to one of our employees, Susan, who was your planner until last week.
What?
It seems their relationship isn't new. I even saw them kissing.
Huh?
I collapsed to my knees in shock.
Why?
I never thought he was cheating, especially not with our wedding planner. Are you okay? I'm okay, I said, as Nancy offered her hand. And that wasn't all. My thoughts turned to revenge. Thank you for telling me. What are you going to do? Revenge, of course. But don't worry, Nancy, I won't involve you. I hurried home. Called Tom, but he didn't answer. He wasn't home, so I waited. Then I found that pouch on the table. This is my chance. An hour later. Why are you in such a rush? Huh? It's nothing. He seemed restless, searching for something. I knew what it was. Looking for this? You had it? I was scared, but anger was stronger. I know what this is. Nancy told me everything.
Nancy? Who's that?
The planner today. She heard you talking to Susan.
Heard what?
Everything. That you were kissing her, and planning to take the wedding money from me. What Nancy told me earlier was that Tom and Susan were conspiring to steal money. Tom began to tremble. So, it's out then. What are you laughing at? You can't escape from me now. I grabbed my smartphone. Ready to call the police if needed. Threatening me is useless now.
Give me that phone.
No way. Did you really think you could get away with this?
Shut up. Hand it over.
Tom, at his wit's end, threw something at me. But fortunately missed. I called the police.
What are you doing?
I'm calling the police. You're the one who can't escape. Maybe you should run? Or do you want this?
Don't joke with me.
He tried to come at me, but stumbled in the mess he had made and fell. I seized the moment to lock myself in the bathroom. I barricaded myself in the bathroom and called the police.
Open up.
Like I would. Tom banged and kicked at the door, desperate to get in. I wasn't sure how long the bathroom would be safe. Curious, I checked the pouch's contents. I had been skeptical about Nancy's story. Inside, I found unfamiliar pills, along with a sweet smell. This confirmed the source of the smell I had noticed on Tom earlier. About 15 minutes later, the front door opened. The police had arrived.
What the hell? Get off me. Don't touch me.
Outside, there was a struggle between the police and Tom. Then, silence and a knock. Are you okay? Yes. It's safe to come out now. We've got him. I emerged to see Tom surrounded by police, looking defeated. I handed over the pouch to the police. This is what he had. Thank you. The police checked the contents and called someone. More officers arrived. Is this definitely your husband's? Absolutely. He always kept it close. In front of Tom, they investigated the pills. You'll be under investigation for violation of drug laws. Handcuffs clicked on Tom's wrists. I felt no sadness, only a sense of justice. But more than that, after being deceived all this time, I can't help but think he got what he deserved.
You've made my life hell. Remember this. To think you were such a scumbag. You belong behind bars. Just wait. I'll be back.
If you can. Tom was taken away by the police. I had been foolish not to act sooner. I couldn't help but think that I should have acted sooner. But now I feel liberated. There would be no wedding, but it was far better than continuing this life. I wonder what I should do next. Maybe start with a divorce. There's no time to dwell on sentimentality. There's still so much to do. Later, I headed to the police station. The police had contacted me for a precautionary test. Of course, the result was negative.
You can visit him if you want. What would you like to do? Please arrange it. Understood. We'll contact you later about the schedule.
I was a bit excited. I wanted to see what condition he was in after all this. A week later, I had the chance to face him. In the visiting room, Tom looked nothing like his former self, completely worn out.
Good to see you're doing well. Does it look like it? Why are you here?
Just to let you know.
We're in the process of getting a divorce.
What? Yes.
You were cheating, remember? Do you have proof? You'll see soon enough. That's all I wanted to say. Get out!
Leaving the visiting room, I couldn't help but laugh. To think he'd fallen so far due to drugs. Later, I learned from the police that the wedding planner, Susan, had been arrested. They found a similar pouch in her room. During the interrogation, she was quite talkative, admitting to being lured by Tom into using drugs and other details. She also confessed to the affair. The mystery of the 2 cups in my apartment was solved. It was her. Now to finalize the process, the request was accepted. Thanks to my lawyer, the divorce was finalized, and I was finally free. The apartment was under my name, so I canceled the lease and disposed of Tom's belongings. I'm considering moving. But before that, I have one more place to visit.
Hello, Nancy.
You are.
Thank you for everything last time.
It's all thanks to you.
I didn't do much. You helped me a lot. And your husband?
We're divorced. If I ever plan a wedding again, I'll come here. With that, I left the shop. I later found out that Tom had been arrested for drug-related issues even before coming back to me. Now, he's serving a sentence. I can't help but laugh thinking about it. He should stay in there for life. Now, I'm ready to start a new life in a new place. I'm alone, but not lonely. In fact, I'm quite excited about it.